Now, here's a little news. I was told this last week. There is a group of Nigerian legislators coming to Washington this week trying to petition the Trump administration and Congress from designating their country as a one of particular concern. They don't want this, but they're doing nothing to protect the Christian population there and to stop these radical Islamic groups from just laying waste to people on the other side of the religious divide from them. But I've spoken to Christian leaders there for decades. They will tell you they are very much afeared that Nigeria is going to turn into what Egypt and Constantinople became, which, remember, was a majority Christian country that over time you had an Islamic destruction of the faith. And that's what's happening in Nigeria in real time.
35 faith leaders are calling on President Trump to act on the deadly persecution of Christians in Nigeria.
Since 2009, over 52,000 Christians have been killed, including 7,000 this year. More than 18,000 churches have been burned since 2009, and over 5 million Christians have been displaced.
What can you tell us about what's going on in Nigeria and why we've been so slow to respond?
Well, first of all, just to put this in context, if you put together all the Christians persecuted for their faith around the globe, Rachel, they do not compute to the high numbers in Nigeria. As Charlie just mentioned, 52,000 killed since 2009. That equals, there's a group called Intersociety, which does pretty good polling on the ground. They say that's about 35 Christians killed every day. Okay, 3 churches are destroyed every day in this area. And look, it's a combination. In northern Nigeria, you have both Muslims and Christians being killed. But in the Middle Belt and elsewhere, it's all Christians being slaughtered. And the perpetrators here are Boko Haram, whose name we know, an Islamic terrorist group. You have these Fulani herdsmen who run around on horses or on motorcycles with machine guns. They literally mow these Christians down, these farmers who are tending to their land. It is an outrage. And back in 2017, the Trump administration designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, which came with sanctions. Well, when the Biden administration came along, Anthony Blinken lifted that designation. He said these murders were being committed because of climate change. So that's why you see now Ted Cruz and 35 Christians saying, wait, we need to redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. It's a bloodbath. It's a genocide.
It does seem like if this were happening to somebody else, you would see it on the front page of the New York Times, the front page of the Washington Post every day. Why isn't it?
Well, I think because, A, it's Africa, and we just don't cover Africa the way we should, and B, for whatever reason, Islamic terrorism is just not covered. And when you look closely, 22 Islamic terrorist groups, including Boko Haram and others, have safe haven and have a safe quarter in Nigeria.
They don't care about the sufferings you are going through. And don't expect that anything will change just because we complain. We have to take our destinies in our hands. And it is not a violent revolution that is required. You know why? Violent revolutions are an 18th century solution. And the oppressors of today, they have mastered the art and science and craft of violent revolution. And that is why before you know anything, once a protest starts, is either they unleash their propagandists on us to begin to, drive negative propaganda to distract and to divide us, so that instead of uniting to fight the horrible policies of the Tinubu administration, we are fighting amongst ourselves, Igbo versus Yoruba, Benin versus Igbo, and all the like, North versus South, Christians versus Muslims, and all of that. They unleash their propagandists, or they send the soldiers or the police to come and shoot at innocent protesters to disperse them, because these people have mastered the art of revolutions. So if we are going to be able to save Nigeria from the hands of these people, then we must apply a different approach. Check it. Who is it that said again that if you apply the same results and if you apply different methods and you apply the same methods and you are expecting a different result, that is the definition of insanity? Let us not wait until we run mad. We cannot keep applying the same solutions and expect different results. We have to try a different result. Permit me to let you know, the only way to save Nigeria, the only way, is through free and fair elections. That's the only way. I know some of you argue that the problem of Nigeria is a new constitution. And I agree with you. But I want to announce to you that no matter what we do, protest or talk or rant, the people that are in charge now, particularly under Tinubu, under Akpabio, under the APC, they will do whatever they can to defend the constitution as it is. If you truly want a new constitution, what is the way forward? Is to engage to force free and fair elections that will ensure the retirement of all these politicians that are in power today. Until we retire them, you cannot get that new constitution. Some of you argue that the solution is to divide Nigeria. The politicians at the helm of affairs today will not divide Nigeria for you. How easy do you think it will be for even the Igbo governors, the Igbo senators, the Igbo House of Rep members to come together, reach a consensus, issue a communique and say that all of the Southeast legislators are signing a memorandum to secede? How easy do you think that will be? It should be easy, but I can tell you that it will be easier for the camel to pass through the eye of the needle than for the current Igbo leadership to do that kind of thing. They won't. So if you feel that division or secession is a solution, the current crop of leaders cannot give that to you. The only way you can get to divide Nigeria or to secede is to ensure that we have free and fair elections. Because that way, you bring in a new crop of leaders that will now decide and rearrange the constitution. They will re-agree on terms and conditions. And if there is equity, there will be no need to secede. So whether you think that we need a new constitution or that we need division or secession, the only way to achieving it is not to talk more to the same people that are pretending to be asleep. They will never wake up. It will just be like we are flogging a dead horse. It can never rise. The only way is free and fair elections. That's all. Some of you may argue again and say that, no, true federalism, devolution of power, state police, these are the things that we need. These are the solution. In fact, some of you can throw in there resource control or regional resource control. Let every state or region manage their resources. Yeah, fantastic idea. But one question, who will implement it? You know, it's easy for us to rant and rant and rant. And the people in government right now, are they moved by our ranting in any way? Are they? The only solution is free and fair elections. Whatever you think the solution to the problems of Nigeria is, let me know in the description. And let us reason together and see if you can get that solution through the current crop of leaders in the National Assembly or in the executives or even in the judiciary. We need free and fair elections. Now, how do we get free and fair elections? We were hoping that by now we would have had electoral reforms. Remember, what was the whole essence of pushing for electoral reforms? Is to guarantee free and fair elections. That's all. But how are we doing with the electoral reforms? Are we making any headway? The proposals that even INEC made to the National Assembly, is there real-time transmission of results in there? Real-time mandatory collation of results in there? No. So, is it likely we get the electoral reforms that we need? The answer is no. Now, if we don't get electoral reforms, like some people are suggesting, is the right thing to do simply to boycott the election of 2027? Would that not be giving voter apathy on a platter of gold to Tinubu and the APC? Is that not what would be happening? Is that what we want? Is voter apathy not one of the secret superpowers that the APC and Tinubu are looking for that will possibly help them rig the elections? If Nigerians come out in their millions, hundreds or tens of millions, 90 million of us, they say, that have registered, will it be easy for the APC or anybody to rig the elections in 2027? It will not be. Could this be the reason why they are struggling so hard to make sure that Nigerians give up? As a result, they are now pushing the propaganda that the 2027 election is already rigged or that the results are already written. And so some even activists are now saying, oh, if there's no electoral reforms, then there's no point participating in that election. Would that be a right approach? I don't think so. What then is the right approach? Project Eagle. That's the right approach. Polling unit marshal, 600,000 Nigerians strong, and votewatch.pro. That is the combination that will really give Tinubu sleepless nights. That is the combination that will guarantee that the elections of 2027 is free, fair, and credible. Why? How? Because with these 600,000 polling unit marshals across all the 179,000 polling units in Nigeria, think about it. If we get these 600,000 polling unit marshal, it's a question now, and they are dedicated and committed, and they get the results from the polling units like the law requires them or encourages them to do, and they take the pictures of the Form EC8A pasted on the walls in their polling unit, and they upload it to the website, the application, votewatch.pro. And the results are online, real time, even before they leave the polling unit to the World Collation Center. Do you think that INEC will still be able to rig the elections? This is the only way to guarantee free and fair election. PU Marshal, votewatch.pro. I urge you to join us to make this solution work. Nobody will talk about this solution because it is not a trending topic. But it is a solution that all Nigerians need to hear. So I will encourage you to join us. We need off social media campaign, awareness campaign. We need finance for it. We need people, volunteers for it. So the one that you can do, please do. If you can volunteer, join us in this network to create an awareness that will guarantee free and fair elections in 2027. If you cannot join physically, let your donation speak for you. This is the best way to contribute, to invest your money in a way that guarantees a country that works for your children and your children's children. Free and fair election is the only way forward. It doesn't matter how much we rant on social media. These, I don't want to call them devils, but somebody even argues that calling them devils will even still be putting it lightly. These people that have held Nigeria by the jugular, they won't let go of it unless we take a different approach. And that is the PU Marshal and Project Eagle, and votewatch.pro of Project Eagles. Guess what? There are two other solutions of Project Eagles that will keep Tinubu awake and will guarantee free and fair elections in 2027. I'll talk about them later. But for now, join us in the awareness campaign for Project Eagles. Yes. God bless you as you join.